Most couples don't avoid money talks because they don't care. They avoid them because conversations feel messy and rarely lead to decisions. Today, we'll script a 20-minute weekly money date that turns talks into choices you can execute immediately. First, here's what this episode covers so you can follow along. We'll use a 3-part agenda in simple sentences: balances and alerts, top 2 decisions, calendar and automations, plus a clear approval threshold for unplanned buys and a short script for resolving disagreements. A money date is a brief, recurring meeting where you and your partner check the numbers, choose the next actions, and schedule the system to do the work. Because it's short and repeatable, it lowers stress while raising follow-through. This routine works whether you run a joint, separate, or hybrid money model. Think of it as the weekly operating system that keeps any model honest and aligned. Set the time and place once so the choice is never renegotiated. Pick the same day each week. Sunday evening or Monday lunch are common. And protect 20 minutes like a standing appointment. Divide the 20 minutes into 3 segments you can remember. Spend 6 minutes on balances and alerts, 8 minutes on the top 2 decisions, and 6 minutes on calendar and automations. Start with balances and alerts because facts calm feelings. Pull up only the shared bills account, the shared goals account, and a quick glance at each personal account's available to spend line. Read the numbers out loud in 1 sentence per account. For example, shared bills shows $1,260. Next week's bills total $940, and we're $320 above the floor. Define the floor as the minimum you want sitting in the shared bills account before the next cluster of due dates. A practical floor is 1 week of shared fixed costs or a flat amount like $500 in your local currency. Scan alerts next so there are no surprises. Alerts include low balance, a single transaction over your approval threshold, or a transfer scheduled in the next 72 hours. Approval threshold means the size at which an unplanned shared expense requires 2 yes votes. Use the rule of the greater of 1% of monthly take-home or a flat 200, which keeps tiny purchases out of debate and big ones in the light. If an alert fires, decide whether it's an error, a legitimate purchase, or a subscription to cancel at the end of the month. Note the outcome in 1 sentence so memory doesn't rewrite history later. Now move to the heart of the meeting, the top 2 decisions. 2 is intentional because forcing a short list turns talk into action. Identify the 2 highest impact decisions for the next 7 days. Examples include how much to sweep to the emergency fund, whether to book train tickets, or which medical bill to negotiate. State each decision in a yes, no, or number format. For instance, do we move $200 to the emergency fund on Friday? Or do we cap dining out at $120 until next payday? Make the call using the approval threshold and your model's rules. If it's a shared expense above the threshold, you need 2 yeses. If not, the person who wants it can cover it from their personal account without blame. Record the decision immediately with 1 line of text and a date. Your goal is a log that future you can read in under a minute. If you disagree, use a script that keeps the team intact. Say, let's name the goal, set a cap, and pick a review date. Then finish the sentence like this. Goal is celebrate our friend's wedding. Cap is $300 from shared, and we review next Sunday. When the issue is timing, not amount, choose a pause and revisit. Say, not now, yes later, and put an exact date on the calendar, which preserves goodwill and momentum. Because life is lumpy, add 1 if-then nuance for emergencies and missed weeks. If an emergency hits between meetings, call a 10-minute flash money date, the same day to approve 1 action and 1 follow-up, then stop. If you miss the regular week, run a 10-minute catch-up within 48 hours using the same 3-part agenda with smaller numbers. Do not cram 2 weeks of goals into 1 session. Instead, reset to the next normal meeting. Now close with calendar and automations, because scheduling is what makes decisions real. Open your shared calendar and place transfers, payments, and reminders on exact days, ideally 2 to 3 days after paydays for bill pools. Automations are pre-scheduled transfers, or payments that move money without you touching it. They include moving a fixed amount to the shared bills account, sweeping a percentage to the shared goals account, and auto-paying fixed bills on specific dates. Set a simple transfer schedule so every payday behaves the same. For example, at 09 Saturn on payday, 50% of combined take-home funds the shared bills account, 15% funds the shared goals account, and the rest lands in personal spending accounts. If your income is irregular, set transfers as percentages of actual deposits rather than fixed amounts. If a deposit is more than 20% below your 3-month average, skip that deposit's goals transfer and protect the shared bills floor first. Use guardrails that create accountability without policing. Turn on shared alerts for low balance and for any shared transaction above the threshold, but keep personal transactions private by default. Name one person to execute automations if your bank requires a single owner. Give the other partner read-only access to the shared accounts, so visibility is mutual, not one-sided. Close your meeting with a 30-second recap you can both repeat. Say, balances are safe, decisions are A and B with dates, and all automations are scheduled. End on appreciation, because teams that feel seen stick to the plan. One sentence like, "Thanks for showing up when this week was busy," is a small investment that compounds. A common mistake is leading with blame instead of facts. Blame sounds like, "You overspent," while facts sound like, "The shared account dropped below the 500 floor on Thursday." The correction is to let numbers speak first, then choose a forward action. If a category ran hot, you can either cap next week's spend or allow it from a personal account. And the choice happens without labels like good or bad. If you feel the meeting drifting into a marathon, use the 2-decision rule to end on time. Write down ideas for later, and trust that weekly cadence creates more chances to steer than one long debate. If one partner carries more logistics, acknowledge the work and keep language shared. Say, "Our system sent the transfer," rather than "I moved the money," which keeps ownership joint even when tasks rotate. Over time, the log of short decisions becomes a story of progress. You'll see patterns, spot seasonal spikes, and adjust percentages in small, smart increments. The goal of the money date is not perfection. It is momentum with minimal friction. You're building a habit where small conversations create real outcomes on a predictable schedule. Here's the distilled takeaway you can use starting this week. Run a 20-minute money date with balances and alerts, the top 2 decisions, and calendar plus automations. Then let the system, not your memory, finish the job. If this helped, like and subscribe.